newspapers in Cyprus just now, and we're praying for you, Tony. We want to support you. Can we send you any money or books or magazines? Or please, can we visit you? If that's possible, then just write a visit slip to the address below and we'll come and see you. God bless you, Michael. The letter's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
But you've got to understand, I was not very lovely back then. I was really quite abnormal. I was very angry. And I looked at this letter and I took offence. I was thinking, what is that? Who opens up a newspaper and they see a criminal and they think, I'm going to write and say hello? I was thinking, what is that rubbish? And why is a Christian writing to me? I'm a Buddhist. What does he want? And and also, I really didn't like these stupid pictures he did all over the letter. He drew these smiley faces, and if you knew me, you would really not do that. And I saw this, and I was thinking, I was imagining some crazy Christian nutter in his house, and he must be smiling at me being in prison. And I was just getting myself all confused and angry, and I threw the letter in the bin. I got myself so upset. And I was going to smash my room up, which is what I would do on a regular basis when I got angry. They unlocked my door, and there was another prisoner that morning who was talking to me. And we talked about this crazy letter, because I was so angry and I talked about this stuff. And he said to me, Tony, invite that guy to see you. I said, really, no thank you, I don't really need it. He said, no, invite that guy, because in the visitor room there's a coffee shop. And you can get Coca-Cola. And in prison, we got water to drink. It was brown. It was brown water. It was like sort of murky colour. You got used to it. Maybe you got sick in the beginning, but you got used to it. But I wanted a Coca-Cola. So I changed my mind. I thought, I'll invite this Christian and I'll use him for Coca-Colas. And if he tries to Bible bash me, then I'm going to kill him. That's what I was honestly thinking to myself. I'm so sorry to tell you, but that's what I was thinking. I filled out the visit slip, I posted it, and the following Thursday, I was waiting for Michael. I was waiting behind this long table, and this guy walked in. I never met him before, but I knew straight away, I bet it's this guy coming in now. Because the guy that came in was the only one to walk in there, smiling like such an idiot. And he was really upsetting me. I didn't like him. For me, I was always angry about everything, And he's walking in there like this, and I wanted to slap him, really. I really was upset. And he came up to me, and he shook my hand with two hands. He said, Tony, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for the visit. Thank you. He thanked me so much, it was like I was visiting him. It was ridiculous. He said to me, Tony, I'm here because I'm a Christian. And Jesus Christ changed my life many years ago. And I'm not here to preach at you. I'm here to be your friend. And I said, good, now get me a drink. I didn't want to hear his rubbish. I wanted him to shut up and get me my Coca-Cola and go. I didn't want to hear it. I was so rude. I'm sorry. But that's what I was. A real rude idiot. He got me my drinks. I had 2 Coca-Colas that day. It was wonderful. And he spoke a lot of things. He was always going about Jesus and praying and his little church of friends, and I really wasn't interested. I didn't listen to hardly anything the man said. Did you know Michael came back the following Thursday? Did you know Michael visited me every Thursday for 3 years? And did you know we finally became friends? We became friends because Michael Wright never gave up on me. He never judged me. Really, he made me feel like I was almost his own son. I tell you, he did it because he was a gentleman. Me, I was a young fool. I was angry. I was a real loser. And I was violent. And a real waste of time. But Michael was a gentleman that never gave up. And we became very good friends. I always look forward to seeing this man because he became like a father for me. After about 6 months, the day was the 3rd of May, 1991. And on that day, I had a friend. He had his face cut up so badly. And I was very angry that day, and Michael came to see me. They called my name to the visitor room, and I was going there, fixing to do a bad thing. I was going to go and hit him or something stupid, cause an argument, maybe. But that day, I'm glad to tell you, I didn't touch him. because that day Michael shared with me this message. He talked about two things that I could do in the prison that could change my life. And he spoke about God and the Bible and Jesus. The last thing he said was, Tony, your problem is not the prison here. Your problem is not the problems you've gone through in your life. Your problem is in your heart. Your problem is that you've got a hole in your heart. It's like a God-shaped hole, and you have been trying to fill your emptiness like everybody else does all of your life. People try money, but we never ever have enough money to be satisfied. So we're always looking for more money. People put in here accomplishments and things that we own, our belongings, but we are never quite satisfied with anything. We're always looking for more. All of your life, you said to me, Tony, you put your world championship in Kung Fu, sex, drugs, violence, anger, your religion as a Buddhist, and yet you've never once tried Jesus Christ, have you, Tony? Well, no, I haven't. And then he opened up his Bible, and he read to me 3 sentences from the Gospel of John, chapter 8, verses 34 to 36. I'll never forget these words for as long as I live. It's where Jesus Christ said, I tell you the truth, everyone who sins is a slave to sin. A slave has no permanent place in a family, but a son or a daughter belongs to a family forever. And so if the Son of God, Jesus Christ, sets you free, you shall be free indeed. And these words of freedom, they did make an impression on me because I was in prison. Freedom, it's obvious, isn't it? I don't know about you, but these words affected me because I woke up every morning in prison hoping I could be free again. I didn't hit Michael. I went back to my prison cell, and that was the night I was looking for my window. And let me conclude my story with this. I was looking for my window, and did you know my window had lots of bars, prison bars? A bit like that, I suppose, but proper thick bars. And they made a cross shape right in the middle. I was looking at the cross, and yes, I was thinking about Jesus, yeah? But I'm really sorry, I know you're Christians, but I really didn't believe this stuff. How can you possibly believe in a person you've never even met? It seemed like believing in the Tooth Fairy or Father Christmas. How can you believe in Jesus and pray and talk and sing and preach? And what if you're wrong? I mean, I was a Buddhist. Are the Buddhists wrong as well? Are the Muslims wrong as well? Are the Hindus wrong? What makes the Christians right? You haven't even seen Jesus. So what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't believe in the person I couldn't see. So I stopped thinking about this Jesus, because for me, seeing is believing. I started to think of Aya. I really missed that girl a lot. And I just tried to remember her, because what we had was real, and I loved her very much. And as I tried to remember her, I could even see us. We were laying together. I could almost see her hair. I could almost remember holding her hand. But the one thing I couldn't see her face. You know when you don't see somebody for many months, you can forget what they look like? And that happened to me, and I was really in prison, and I really lost everything. I was crying, I was angry. But right then, something occurs to me. I remembered how she loved me. She loved me for 3 years, right? She really did, I know that, because I can tell you, she loved me. She said yes when I asked her to marry me. And did you know, Aya had never even seen me. She'd never even seen my face. Because when she was born, her mother had an infection when she was born, and Aya was born blind. You see, Aya was a blind girl, and she did love me, and she never once saw my stupid face anyway. I just began to think, if a blind girl can love a person they have never even seen, maybe that's how I get to know Jesus. And in that moment, I looked at my cross, and I spoke to God. I didn't know what to say or how to say it, but I said, are you there? And the first thing I felt I needed to say was, sorry. I became aware of His presence all of a sudden in my mind, thinking to myself, what a dirty creature I am. I said sorry for people I killed. I said sorry for people I beat. I said sorry for lies and for robberies and pretty bad things. I did the 2 things Michael told me to do. And that night, my life changed. Because I woke up the next day on the 4th of May 1991, and honestly, I tell you, it's crazy. I think I woke up with a smile on my face. I think I woke up feeling so extraordinarily free, and I was behind bars. I wasn't free, I had another 2.5 years more to go. But I felt so free in prison. Maybe I felt more free than all of you. And you see, I don't think you have to be behind bars to be in prison. There are many people in the world today that are in prison because of maybe religion. The prison of religion, where there's lots of rules and routines, but there's no relationship with Jesus. Maybe prison can be addiction to something. It could be smoke, it could be drink, it could be a little bit of pornography, it could be something. Prison could be anger, prison could be jealousy, prison could be an image issue, where you look in the mirror and you always sort of hate what you're looking at because the world's made you feel like that. Prison takes many shapes and sizes, are you with me? But I guess I've come to visit you today just to tell you simply, I was in a real prison, and it was a real God that changed this real, total idiot. I stopped practicing. I stopped practicing Kung Fu because as I read my Bible, I could never quite imagine Jesus doing Kung Fu, you know? And so I thought to myself, well, if it's not good for him, it's not good for me. And I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. I stopped smoking cigarettes because I became a chain smoker in prison. I stopped that because I figured, you know, well, God's made this body, who am I to damage it? I tried to stop swearing. Every now and again, when I get angry, I might swear. But to be honest, I'm trying to stop it more and more, day by day. I don't hit people anymore. I'm a work in progress. I don't have a handle on anything. Somebody last night asked me, but Tony, how do you do your anger? Well, I don't. In fact, I'm a complete, utter mess. And that's the reason why I'm a Christian, because I need his help. Because I don't have a handle on anything. But I've got somebody I can go to and say, well, I'm sorry, Lord. I've now really messed up. And now can you please forgive me? And now can you please help me, because I need your help. Are you with me? So I've had many ups and downs. In fact, I had a nasty car crash once as well, after being a Christian. But that's maybe for another day, yes? I'm now married to a lady called Sarah. She's English, and she's my best friend. I love her much more than I ever loved Aya. And we have 2 sons. They are 14 and 18 tomorrow. And you know what? Even though life is difficult for them, because they are teenagers, and in this world, Satan's trying to just kidnap them every day. But you know what? They do have faith. And I hope that they'll always remember it for as long as they live. I should be dead today, but I'm only alive because of Jesus Christ. Thank you for listening to my story. I guess a few final things. Michael. I don't think I could forgive myself to leave here and not tell you. Michael visited the prison for about 10 years. And in 10 years, there are 10 people that we know of that gave their lives to Christ. We hope they were genuine. I was one of them. But the doors closed. And in Cyprus, there are many people from the Philippines. And they are migrant workers there. And it's amazing because in Cyprus, Michael Wright developed an amazing ministry with Filipino people. And there are many of them, so many. And actually, if you want to meet Michael, just friend me on Facebook, and one of my friends is Michael Wright. And he would love to hear from any of you, well, even if you're not from the Philippines, but any of you. But he's a tremendous believer who's now based in Northern Ireland. Maybe one day you can invite him. He's a far better speaker than I could ever hope to be. But Michael, he knows his Bible very well. He doesn't need any PowerPoint presentations. He just needs his Bible, and he'll be the best speaker you could ever have. So there you are, Michael. Now, moving into the next part of the session, let me give you a break from the waffling, and let me show you a video, okay? The sound may not work too well. We'll try to work on it now. Can anybody give me sounds to my laptop with a jack plug? Or can I plug it in for your system over there? This is obviously yeah, no. Okay, you guys have sorted us out, so that's fantastic. So what I'm going to show you is a story that you may have seen it before, but you'll be very happy to see it again. But a boy who's a bit of a sports fanatic, he says to his dad, "Dad, there's a charity run in the town. Will you run with me?" Well, the father had a heart condition, but the dad said yes, because he loved his son. And so the father and the son, they run together. They do very badly because they come second from last. It's terrible. But the boy doesn't give up. He says, "Dad, there's the marathon. Will you run with me in a marathon now?" Well, they've been to 200 marathons. And every one of them, they've done very badly. Finally, the boy says, "Dad, will you run with me in Ironman?" Ironman is a triathlon. And to be ready on race day, you've got to do a lot of training. Because you're going to run, you're going to swim 4 kilometers. You're going to cycle 120 kilometers, and then you're going to run 43 kilometers, one after the other. Are you with me? Yes. So, take a look at these two people. You're going to watch them now, the father and the son. They're called Team Hoyt, Dick and Ricky Hoyt. Okay?
Now
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
What an amazing dad, because the dad does not stop cycling, swimming, running, because he wants to run with his son, because he loves him.
Yeah.
And what an amazing son, because the boy you are watching is completely paralysed. He's what you call quadriplegic. He cannot use a single limb. And they asked the boy's called Ricky, how do you feel, Ricky, when you're in this competition? And the boy said, when I'm running, it feels like my disability disappears.
Wow.
Isn't it amazing? I feel like that as well when I'm walking and running with Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I'm very stupid. I've got many disabilities in my heart and my